motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye. I'd like to appoint Mr. Cal Druxman, executive of KXOL. Cal Druxman, D-R-U-X-M-A-N. D-R-U-X-M-A-N. Yeah. C-A.
I have an appointment to make. I'd like to appoint, and I'm real proud to, on both of my selections, my first being Bob McFarland, attorney in Arlington. Bob is...
What firm is he a member of, Mr. Crib? I mean, Mr.
Crib. He's with Mr. Mabus. No, he's with Mr. Crib.
Well, in my opinion, I think that most of these drug education programs that I have seen throughout the United States should be scrapped. I know that's sort of heresy to saying that, but the programs I'm talking about, those where law officials come in without complete knowledge and where teachers are not trained to do the job properly, they don't know what to teach to the children, and then teaching just a pharmaceutical or pharmacology is not enough. I think there has to be more.
Well, what drug program should be instituted then? Should it be a textbook program? Do teachers need more education? Or should it just be people coming in that have been on drugs to teach children? How should this be done?
I think that things that have worked have been those people who have been pushers. They've used those to teach the teachers. There are some good curriculum out that have been very effective for drug education. Of course, I worked with this in the state of Nebraska, and there are some good things. But just to teach kids, you know, this is a amphetamine or this is a barbiturate, it's not enough, and it won't work. And we have to do some other things, and that's why I'm here to tell parents what those things are.
What are these things? What is the solution to the drug problem? I
think it starts in the home. One thing, to be very frank, I think the television stations have been pushing drugs for a number of years by their commercials, and this is a network problem. I think we have to do something there. I think mom has been pushing drugs. She's one of the biggest drug pushers with her diet pills, with her example. Our hospital has a large problem of overdosage of aspirins. These are the drug pushers. I don't think it's a mafia type of character we have to attack right now. It's in the home and in the media, video media, and audio media.
Yeah, I think that overall, you know, the talent in the camp is better than it was at any time when I was in Milwaukee. Of course, the one big difference is you've got to have that super player or two that that's going to get it done for you. And I think that our guards are going to be very good, our veteran guards with Freeman and Hamilton and Jones. And I really don't know too much about our up-front players. I know that we do need stronger rebounding and that we do need a backup center. And those are the things that the needs I'm basically trying to fulfill here in this camp.
What are your immediate impressions on some of your top draft choices in these first two workouts?
It's very difficult to tell. Tonight we're going to have our first full-scale scrimmage, but I like the looks of Collis Jones. I think he has to improve quite a bit in some areas, but I certainly think he has the potential to be a good player.
And your impressions on your new coach, Tom Nasalki?
I'm very impressed. I met him in Milwaukee when he was assistant coach there, and I'm very impressed with him.
I like the looks of Gene Phillips. He did some things that I wasn't sure that he was able to do. He did a very good job this morning in our defensive drills. I was very happy with that. I know that he can shoot, and I think he can penetrate. We work some on his ball handling and make sure that that he can achieve some consistency in defense. I think he can be a good pro in a couple of years.
Well, to some degree, it's a whole different ball game. It's just like starting over again, like when you were a sophomore in high school or a freshman in college. It's just a whole different type game situation, even though it's still basketball.
How about the contact among the pros?
Well, there's a lot more contact. It's a lot more physical game. There's no question about that. Everybody knows it, and it's something that I think I'll have to learn to adjust to.
How about Gary Nelson?
It's been a little more difficult to tell because the players have all been working very hard and trying to make an impression. When you're a center and you don't have an organized plan, a pattern of play as yet, everybody kind of is chasing after the ball, so to speak, and it's hard for a center really to get in there and operate with his cutters, knowing where everybody's going. But I think in another day or so, after we're in a more organized situation, as we get the squad cut down a little bit more, I think we can tell more about Gary. It's easier for a forward or a guard to stand out early than it is for a center, unless it's Kareem.
I like it a lot. I like the weather. It's not dirty. It's a pretty city, and the people are awfully friendly.
Do you feel there will be a great deal of difference between college ball and pro ball?
Already I'm noticing it. There's a little more contact, which doesn't bother me at all.
Brother is one of the oldest turtles in the race, is that right?
Yes.
What race did he win?
Well, he won the 5-yard sprint.
Charles, how long have you had this turtle?
Oh, about 3 months.
How did you train him for the big race?
Oh, we just let him go on the grass, and we would just urge him on. We'd pat him on the ground, and he'd go real fast.
Charles, why didn't you decorate your turtle?
Well, because if you paint him, well, the paint will kill him, and it'll deform his shell, and it'll finally die.
How many ribbons did he win today?
Well, he won 2 this term.
I think the courts will make the final determination in this. I have long felt that what we must strive for is excellence in education for all of our children, black and white alike. And I believe that busing purely for the establishment of some mythical racial percentage can be a deterrent to good education. And what we ought to strive for really is excellence in education. I believe in the neighborhood school concept. hope very much we can get inflation under control. But I think it'll be a very serious mistake if they try to escalate interest rates and a monetary policy to anything that approaches the levels it reached before the elections of November last year. And I would hope that the administration correctly read the results of the election and would try to control inflation by other than just monetary policies alone.
What other policies would you suggest?
Well, I think that you're going to have to see more jawboning on the part of the administration and trying to get reasonable increases in prices and wages and trying to discourage unreasonable ones. I noticed that this last meeting that the president had with leaders of industry and labor, that he was very soft-spoken in his jawboning. I think you have to put more muscle into it.
I've had some calls from my friends this week that Judge Green's contacted, and I think I can make my own selection of who I want on the board, and I suppose the rest of the commissioners can. And I know he's been doing this every year right after the election, so it really doesn't bother me a whole lot. I'm truthfully believe that I want to do what's best for the citizens of my precinct and of Tarrant County.
I think every one of us wants to, and that's why.
My people out of my precinct, I don't know about the others, but I'm going to stand up for them. I think the judges, the JPs, and the commissioners are honest, dedicated law enforcement people. I don't know what they are in other precincts, but I really feel that strongly, and I think this will prove it. But I just don't like to tie us down to any 30 or 60 days and making a recommendation on something that's been drifting for 40 years.
I don't think that's a necessary aspect. I was just wanting to get out with it.
Mr. Andersen, would you state your motion?
See if this is acceptable with you, gentlemen. I just dropped now. I make a motion to appoint a committee of 5, one member appointed by each member of the court for the purpose of studying the feasibility of reducing the number of peace justices and constables. Period.